Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving deep into a truly game-changing book, Daniel Kahneman's Thinking Fast and Slow. You're about to meet the two characters that live inside your head, the ones who are secretly running your life. Okay, let's jump right in with a quick test. Take a look at this. You've got two statements and a conclusion. All I want you to do is decide if that conclusion logically follows from the first two sentences. Don't overthink it, just go with your gut. What does it feel like? So if you thought, yep, that looks valid, don't feel bad at all, you are in very good company. The vast majority of people, even college students, get this one wrong. The argument is actually flawed. See, it's totally possible that the flowers that fade quickly aren't roses. Your brain just took a little shortcut, and understanding why it did that is the key to this whole explain. You know that little logic puzzle? That was basically a showdown between the two systems that run all of your thinking. Kahneman gives them these really simple names, System 1 and System 2. So, let's meet the stars of the show. So, you can think of System 1 as the hero of our story. It's fast, it's automatic, it's your gut instinct. It's the part of your brain that knows the answer to 2 plus 2 without even trying. Then you've got System 2. This is the analyst. It's slow, it's deliberate, and man, it takes real effort to get it going. This is the system you have to consciously fire up to solve a tough math problem. Or, you guessed it, to go back and check the logic on that tricky rose puzzle. Now, System 1 is absolutely amazing. I mean, it keeps us alive and helps us navigate most of our day. But it's also kind of lazy. It loves taking shortcuts, and those shortcuts lead to predictable, systematic mistakes. So let's take a look at a few of its favorite errors. Okay, first up, we have a total classic, the halo effect. This is our tendency to let one good thing we see about someone cast a positive glow, or a halo, over everything else about them. It's a really powerful shortcut, but as you're about to see, it can be super misleading. So, take a look at these two guys, Alan and Ben. Who do you instinctively like more? For most of us, it's Alan, right? He just seems better. But look closer. I mean, really look. The lists have the exact same words. The only thing that's different is the order. With Alan, the positive words came first, creating that halo that made his stubbornness seem like a good thing. With Ben, the negative words came first, and suddenly his intelligence seems kind of dangerous. That right there is the halo effect in action.
And then there's the affect heuristic. This is another one of System 1's favorite tricks. Instead of tackling a really hard, complicated question like, what are the actual statistical risks of this new technology? Your brain just swaps it out for a much easier one. So how do I feel about this new technology? Our gut feelings about everything, from food to cars to investments, end up driving what we believe about them, and we usually don't even know it's happening.
Okay, let's check out another one of System 1's little quirks. This one comes from a really clever experiment that Kahneman ran with his partner, Amos Tversky, and it all started with a rigged wheel of fortune.
So here's what they did. The wheel was rigged so it would only land on the number 10 or the number 65. People would spin it, write down the number they got, and then they were asked this question, which seems totally unrelated. And the results were just wild. That number from the wheel, which everybody knew was completely random, had a huge effect on their answers. For the people who saw the number 10, their average guess was around 25%. But get this, for the people who saw 65, their average guess shot up to 45%. That first, totally meaningless number acted like an anchor, pulling their final guess closer to it. And that's what we call the anchoring effect. So we know our fast-thinking System 1 is biased, but that's not all it does. It's also a compulsive storyteller. I mean, it has this deep, deep need to make the world make sense, and the way it does that is by linking events together into these neat, simple stories about cause and effect, even if they aren't true. And this constant search for a good story leads us straight into something called hindsight bias. You know this feeling. The second we find out how something ended, our brain immediately starts spinning a tale that makes that ending seem like it was inevitable all along. It's that "I knew it all along" feeling. This quote from Kahneman just hits the nail on the head. In hindsight, everything seems obvious, and this creates a really powerful illusion that the world is more predictable than it actually is. It makes us feel like we understand the past, and that gives us this dangerous overconfidence that we can predict the future. Yeah, this desire for a good story is so strong that we'll even find them where there's nothing but pure randomness. We just hate admitting that luck plays such a massive role in things, so we make up explanations to feel better. Kahneman gives this perfect example. Imagine a ski jumper has a phenomenal first jump, just out of this world. Then, on the second jump, it's just okay. The sportscaster immediately invents a story about pressure or getting too relaxed. But the real reason, the less exciting statistical reason, is something called regression to the mean. Basically, an unusually great performance is often followed by a more average one, just because of luck. No story required.
So with all these biases and stories running around in our heads, how does that actually affect the choices we make? Especially when money and risk are involved. Well, this brings us to prospect theory, and this is the work that actually won Kahneman the Nobel Prize. It uncovers some really weird logic in how we make our decisions. So let me ask you, are you a risk taker? Well, before you give a quick answer, prospect theory says, hold on a second. The answer isn't a simple yes or no. It turns out it depends completely on whether you're looking at a potential gain or trying to avoid a potential loss.
This chart here illustrates the core idea perfectly. When we're faced with a chance to gain something, we tend to be risk-averse. We'd rather take the sure thing. But the second we're faced with losing something, our behavior completely flips. We suddenly become risk-seeking. We're willing to roll the dice and gamble to try and avoid a guaranteed loss. And the engine driving all of this is a really powerful force called loss aversion. See, for our brains, losses just feel way bigger than gains. The psychological pain of losing, say, $100 is roughly twice as powerful as the pleasure you get from winning $100. It's this basic built-in imbalance in our minds.
All right, for our final section, we're going to get into one of the most profound and honestly kind of unsettling ideas in the whole book. What if I told you that you aren't one single person? Kahneman makes the case that you're actually two different selves, and they are often at war with each other. To get your head around this, think about this story from the book. A guy is listening to this beautiful 40-minute-long symphony. It's a totally blissful experience. But then, right at the very end of the record, there's a horrible screech from a scratch. And later, he says that awful sound ruined the whole experience. But did it? Did it really erase the 40 minutes of actual pleasure he just had? Or did it just ruin the memory of it?
This story reveals the two selves inside you. First, there's the experiencing self. This is the one that lives your life, moment by moment. It's the one that actually listened to the 40 minutes of beautiful music. But then, there's the remembering self. This is your inner storyteller, the one that keeps score and makes all your big decisions. And here's the crazy part. It's a terrible narrator. It only pays attention to two things: the most intense moment of an experience and how it felt right at the end. It almost completely ignores how long the experience actually lasted. And the real kicker? It's that flawed remembering self that gets to make all your choices about the future.
And this leaves us with this incredible, provocative question from Kahneman. Think about when you're on vacation, snapping hundreds of photos. Are you actually living in the moment for your experiencing self? Or are you just working, basically, as a memory builder for your future remembering self? We let these flawed memories guide our lives, but the actual experience, the here and now, is all we ever really have. So it begs the question, who's really in charge of your life?